Thunder Bay, a beautiful and resourceful city nestled in northwestern Ontario. It's home to over 100,000 friendly and loving people of all ethnicities who, when time calls for it, enjoy coming together for the benefit of the greater good. And on May 28, 2012, the time had come for this tight-knit city to come together unlike any other time in its history. In late May, Thunder Bay saw, for many days straight, an unprecedented amount of rain. Day after day, night after night. Rain, rain, and more rain.
I had the road guy come by here this morning and said he'd never seen anything like this in 40 years.
The amount of rain we've had, Mother Nature has caused a lot of destruction.
Finally, with the sewers beginning to back up, the local water pumping station nearing capacity, and yet another rainfall that brought down over 105 millimeters, there was nowhere for the water to go.
I felt guilty because I had this little bit of water in my basement and I was all worried about it. And then you hear about people that were up to their waist and if not higher in water in their basements. It was just, it was unbelievable. I'd never seen or heard of that kind of devastation in Thunder Bay before.
I remember those pumps coming out of people's basements and water just gushing out constantly. People invited us into their home and said, please take a look and see the damage that has been caused.
They showed us their basements and what was floating in their basements, and
it was awful.
People had family heirlooms and bedrooms, and sad.
I even remember one home where we couldn't even actually go into the house because the water was so high. We had to look from the window at the basement to see it. It was just an eye-opener. I was so sad.
We have a 2-week-old baby on one street that is living in a house that's fumed. Like, all they can smell is sewage.
And just after 8 p.m. on Monday, May 28th, City administration officially declared Thunder Bay to be in a state of emergency. With many roads and highways washed out, businesses forced to close, and well over 1,100 houses directly impacted by the free-flowing waters, the morale of the city, whose nickname is Superior by Nature, was at an all-time low. A call-out was made to governments for assistance, but time wasn't on the residents' side. The Salvation Army, the Red Cross, along with various other nonprofits, assisted as best they could, but everyone knew that more financial assistance was going to be needed to help the many affected by the flood. Enter some locally owned and operated radio stations.
The energy of what was going on in the city and you know, all the people calling, we were just, as a media company, we're getting tons of calls for people who wanted to get the word out about things. So I think we needed to do something. So Brad and I just decided to get together and think, okay, what do we got to do here? And
yeah, the calls started coming in, and I think in times of need like this, it's you know, something that we wanted to do and something that we needed to do as you know, broadcasters in the city to help out the city.
The day after the tragedy shook the city, plans to host a massive multi-radio station fundraising campaign began. The plan was to broadcast for 12 hours live on location from Thunder Bay's Intercity Shopping Centre, with an overall goal to raise $10,000 to assist those affected by the flood. But would this effort in such little time pay off? Would the goal of raising $10,000 be met? Only time would tell. On May 31st, DJs from 91.5 CKPR, Rock 94, and 103.5 The Thunder began their broadcast, starting at 6 a.m.
We did this fundraiser at Intercity Shopping Centre. We had taken over an empty store, and our sister stations and ourselves, we ended up doing basically what's called a marathon broadcast for 12 hours, and we said, let's see how much money we can raise to help these victims of the flood.
Classic rock, new rock, Rock 94, AC/DC, You Shook Me All Night Long. It's Mark and Val. The flood relief fundraiser continues. We're down here at the Intercity Shopping Center, down from the promo court across from Moxie's. We've been getting huge donations, big money coming in today for this thing. Hey, Val?
Yeah, you know what? Like just a couple here, a local contractor, he came in and dropped a $5,000 donation and challenges all other contractors out there. So come on, guys, get yourself in here.
Excellent.
And then another $5,000 donation from the insurance board. And you know what? Kids are coming in with their piggy banks.
That's been so heartwarming. I mean, Talk about the generous giving spirit and Thunder Bay having a
Amazing.
giant heart. It's been incredible today.
Our hopes were high that people would donate, but nothing to the extent that they did.
We were sweating, thinking, how are we going to raise $10,000 in 12 hours?
Right. That was the initial goal. And
Yeah.
we said, hey, let's see if we can raise that.
Thunder Bay, its generosity, generally speaking, is second to none. But on that given day, I remember coming and we had that little thermometer of how much money we were going to raise and stuff. And we kind of had like hopes of raising a certain total. Well, within an hour or a couple of hours, we had doubled what our expectations were for the entire day. And we had to go out and get more paper to make a higher kind of thermometer because the community just kept on giving.
By noon, thanks to the amount of on-air time dedicated to the cause, the total raised was a mind-blowing $17,000, with still 6 hours left to go.
There was one family came in, and the little brother and sister had decided to put all of their money for hot dog day and pizza day and all the special things at school towards this relief for the year. And that was a total of $75 that they brought in themselves.
Well, the story that sticks out in my mind was, it was a little kid, little boy, I think he must have been maybe 5, 6 years old, who walked into where we were broadcasting and said he wanted to give us piggy bank and to help those. And actually his mom had told me that it was his idea, so she wanted to bring him down because she heard us on the radio to donate his money. It was so cute.
Little kids with their loonies, each had a loony.
And people had sold things on Kijiji and brought their money in for that. It really was an eye-opener. And we always say, and if you remember that old slogan in Thunder Bay, that Thunder Bay has a giant heart, we can't tell you the number of times we heard that the day of the fundraiser and days and weeks after the fundraiser.
Word continued to spread across the airwaves and social media sites, asking for people and businesses in Thunder Bay to donate what they could, as every little bit would help. Then, in the middle of the afternoon, Thunder Bay's Rotary Club of Fort William showed up and did something no one in their wildest dreams could have hoped for. They handed over a check for $50,000, and the people and businesses of Thunder Bay never looked back.
The Rotary, who came in with a $50,000 check. I mean, everybody who was around, just started clapping. It was like, wow.
Yeah, there were tears. Lots of people had tears in their eyes when they came in and made that huge donation.
Lines continued to form with adults and children of all ages showing up, giving everything they could to help the cause as part of an event conceived just 24 hours beforehand.
And the other thing that people had said to us weeks after this fundraiser, people said, thank you for what you did. And at the end of the day, we said, we just delivered the message.
We told you where to go,
yeah,
where to bring your money.
Yeah, it really was awesome.
I was so proud to be part of this city and so proud to work at Dougal Media because we had done something that none of us thought we'd be able to do. We never thought, I don't think anybody realized. We realized the magnitude of the event, but we didn't realize the magnitude of what people were going to be willing to give.
This is just a really good example of local radio at its best, getting the message out to the people and getting it out fast.
And before the end of the live on location fundraising event, 91.5 CKPR, Rock 94, and 103.5 The Thunder not only met their goal of $10,000, but they surpassed it beyond belief, raising a grand total of $305,773 in just 12 hours. Furthermore, the government matched the donations 2-to-1, bringing the grand total donated to over $900,000. All the proceeds went directly to the local flood relief campaign, assisting the thousands affected by the natural disaster that took place on that one day in May.